true believers, and welcome back to Mike Meeple's Painting Poorly miniature painting tutorials for Marvel Zombies by CMON Games. Today we are taking a look at another Omega level mutant, Magneto. Even though this model is primarily two colors, red and purple, we'll be utilizing some metallic colors to add a little extra interest, and by the time we're done, everyone at the table will be saying Magneto was right. We'll be starting off by priming the models black. Next, we'll be spraying the models with Mephiston Red by Citadel, and spraying the models from above, at a 45-degree angle like a zenithal highlight. Once that's all dry, it's time to start base coats. We're going to start off with some Royal Purple by Vallejo, and use that to paint the cape, boots, trunks, and gloves on the living model. Don't be afraid to add multiple coats to get the coverage you're looking for. Just make sure the first coat is completely dry before adding another. Next, we'll paint the skin for both models using Topaz Skin by the Army Painter for the living model's face. And Dead Flesh by Vallejo for all the skin on the zombie version. After that, use some Gemstone by the Army Painter to paint the helmets. Then use some Royal Purple by the Army Painter to paint the belts, metallic portion of the cape, and the purple trim around the opening of the helmet. Next, take some Neutral Gray by Vallejo and paint the ground and rocks of the bases. When that's all dry, grab some Plate Mail Metal by the Army Painter and paint the missiles and metal beams that are sprinkled around each base. After that, we can add some additional color to the missiles with some Night Scales by the Army Painter. I'm using it to paint the fins and the tips of each missile. And then I'm using some more Gemstone to paint the sections of the missile's fuselage. The last thing we'll do is take some Red by Vallejo and paint the inside of the open wounds on the zombie model. Once that's all dry, it's time for shades. We'll be starting off with some Reikland Flesh Shade by Citadel and using that to apply a thin layer to the skin of both models. Next, we'll be using Purple Tone by the Army Painter and applying some to the purple and metallic purple portions of each model. After that, grab some Red Tone by the Army Painter and apply some to the helmets. Finish the shades off with some Nuln Oil by Citadel and apply that to the bases, including the metal beams and missiles. Once it's dry, it's time for highlights and finishing touches. We'll be starting off with Dark Vermilion by Vallejo and using that to highlight the muscles of each model, being careful to only paint the most prominent portion of each model. For a second highlight, we'll be using Amaranth Red by Vallejo and highlighting a slightly smaller portion of what we just painted. Now we'll take some Royal Purple by Vallejo and use that to highlight the cape, trunks, and gloves, painting the portions that stick out the most, such as where the cape billows or the trunks fold. You'll also highlight the tops and toes of the boots and the fingers. For a second highlight, mix together equal parts Royal Purple by Vallejo and Purple by Vallejo. And for a third highlight, specifically for the cape, we'll use Purple by Vallejo, but we'll use it very sparingly. After that, we'll highlight the face on the living model with some topaz skin by the Army Painter by painting the nose and chin. For a second highlight, we'll use Ruby Skin by the Army Painter and just add a little to the tip of the nose and chin. Moving on to the zombie model, we'll use Dead Flesh by Vallejo to start highlighting the skin. For a second highlight, we'll use Pale Flesh by Vallejo. Next, use some white to add in some eyes. And when that's dry, we'll mix together 1 part transparent red and about 6 parts Lamian medium by Citadel to add a glow to the zombie's eyes. To add a blue electromagnetic glow to the living model's eyes, use transparent blue by Vallejo and Lamian medium in the same 1:6 ratio. After that, grab some Sky Gray by Vallejo and use that to dry brush the rocks and ground of the bases. Then paint the rim of your base and hit it with some matte spray. To add some blood effects, we'll use some Tamiya Clear Red and apply some to the open wounds and a few key places on the base. But remember, less is more with gore. And that's it! I want to give a big shout out to all of my patrons whose generous support helped me make quality content like this. And if you're interested in becoming a patron yourself, information on how to do so can be found in the description for this video, along with links to all the supplies I used today and a link to my blog, where you'll find more tutorials for games like Marvel Zombies. And if you like this video and would like to see more, remember to like, comment, and subscribe. Excelsior!